Is there a fine line between optimism and reality? Sean Aker is an American author, a positive psychology expert, and well known for his book, The Happiness Advantage. He once stated, "Optimism is great for a lot of things, but it doesn't stop cars from hitting us." After a meeting, Aker called for a taxi. When he got into the car, he noticed that the driver wasn't wearing a seatbelt and raised the question. The driver responded, "Oh, don't worry, I'm an optimist." But is he really? The taxi may or may not crash. We cannot predict the future. Optimism and reality, where the fine line lies between the two, often confuses us. So should there be or not be a line? Today, I have some reasons to tell you why there is no fine line between optimism and reality. One time, I got a bad score on an algebra test in school, lowering my class grade average. My pessimistic side kicked in and I started to panic. My mind conjured up these wild scenarios. My life was over. I was going to get a bad high school GPA and fail. If I failed, I wouldn't get a diploma. Without a diploma, I'd have no job. Without a job, I'd be homeless. You get the idea. But by acknowledging the reality, my optimistic side made me realize that this was all within my control. There were choices I could take. I could choose to sit back, relax, and hope for the best. I could put in only minimum effort and pass the class with a low grade. Or I could put in maximum effort and pass the class with a high grade. My optimism pushed me forward. I chose to work harder and eventually pass the class with a high grade. You see, my choices affect my reality. Optimism is a choice, and reality is the outcome. Let me tell you another experience from my family to prove my point. Throughout my life, my mother has highly influenced me. 36 years ago, when Vietnam became a communist country, she fled from Vietnam as a teenager to obtain freedom and better education. My grandmother sold all their goods for money. With this money, a ticket was purchased, my mother's ticket to freedom. In order to escape, she and many others were crammed on a small boat at sea for days. There was just one problem. She had no relatives in any other countries, didn't have any money, had never even seen an ocean before, nonetheless was able to swim. Long before the trip, my mom read horrendous stories of people being captured and kidnapped by pirates. Others had starved to death. The number of people who died in the ocean were far more than the people who survived. From an outsider's point of view, with all these factors and statistics taken into consideration, it would seem extremely unrealistic and impractical for her to even consider trying to escape. But she acknowledged all the outcomes and accepted that the worst may come. She knew that this trip was in between life and death, but it was her choice. Her optimism and hope impacted her choices. This helped her overcome all the hardships. Before her successful trip, my mom was captured by the Vietnamese Border Patrol and sent to jail. This was because at the time, the Vietnamese government had considered her as a person who betrayed the country. After getting out of jail and many other failed attempts, she didn't give up. Her optimism was still with her and motivated her to continue the journey. She finally escaped on a dark night of July 1983. A total of 89 people were divided into small groups, all scattered in different directions across the radius. They emerged from the shadows as they spotted the boat arrived. After many days of hiding in a secret place, the time of departure had finally come. The boat was at sea for 5 days. She was eventually rescued by an American ship and brought to Japan. There, she worked and continued her education until she left for America in 1989. Her optimism led her to the reality that she wanted. When we acknowledge the reality of a situation, optimism offers us choices for better outcomes. We then act upon these choices. Optimism and reality work together to get us to the outcomes that we want. Optimism motivates us forward to our goal, while reality helps us to choose the right road to reach that goal. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, there is no fine line between optimism and reality. Thank you.